Hello, people. I finished a book. Kim. This is by Rudyard Kipling, and I don't think I've ever read anything by Kipling before. For some reason, I have a portion of a poem that he wrote. At least I'm pretty sure it was him. I have a portion of Gunga Din stuck in my head. I don't know that. Did we have to read that in school? I don't know. But I remember, I don't have too much poetry in my head, but I have like the last 3, 4 verses, something like that. This was not a bad book. Obviously a novel. It was supposed to have been very popular when it came out. You're going to be seeing some classics pop up in my videos because the Goodwill bookstores where we've been going, and these bookstores they're just a fucking steal. We get a box of books for $50. They have, typically what they have is a room set to the side that they call the classics, and it's a large, fairly large room with a lot of books in it. Compared to what I typically read, which is world history, they will have a world history section in these stores, but it's very small. So usually I go to that world history section first, and I look at it and I say, well, shit, I've read this, and this. What am I going to take a chance on? So I end up taking this opportunity to maybe read some classics. I don't have hardly any notes here. Novels tend to have a lot of dialogue in them, and dialogue doesn't take up much space on the page. So it took me 3 days to read this, 299 pages. This book was published in 2020, and it looks like Kipling wrote this in 1912. So just a little bit about the book. These are real nice books. The outside is, it's a cool material. I guess the best way I can explain it to you is if I was a cat touching this with my paws, I would be purring. Anybody that owns cats knows that when a cat touches something that it's never touched before, it starts to purr. Cats, the pads on their feet are very sensitive, and it's got very thick pages. Many times in here, I turn the page and I think, fuck, I'm turning 2 pages and I'm trying to split it in half. No, it's just a very thick page. That's about all the notes I have. This was about, when it starts, he's a boy. His name is Kim, and he's actually a white child in India. He's a sahib, and at first he doesn't know it, but he's got this amulet around his neck, and the amulet contains some information about his birth and who his mother and father were, and they were both white people. His mother died at birth, blah, blah, blah. His father turned out to be a drunk, and so somebody else had to raise him. And he basically prefers to just pretend to be an Indian. But he gets involved with all these people, all these characters, a holy man, a horse dealer, and other people that are involved in the great game. And I've read about the great game before. I did not realize that Kipling was the first one to call it the great game. But what the great game was just interaction between the English, much lesser the French, but it was the English and the Russians as they maneuvered over who was going to gain the territories of England and Afghanistan, and who was going to own this or who was going to influence this. And not just those two countries, but the entire lost heart of Asia, uh, which I would have to say the Russians won because you have all these ex-communist countries there, and you know, slowly they're pulling down the statues of Stalin, but once you've been communist like that, it's hard to take it out. I guess that's it. I'm going to start on something else that's going to take me much longer, I think. Thanks for watching.